Alright guys, 2005 Honda CRV, how to replace the rear brake pads and rotors. So we're looking at right here in the back. This is the brake pads in here, and we got the rotor here. We're gonna do a few things. We're gonna go over a little bit this side. I'm gonna bring my light over, just like that, right? We're gonna remove these two bolts. So you take your number 12, just like that. Alright, so we have that loose, both of these. Alright, so this is the number 12s. We're gonna pull out this caliper. If you need to, use a flathead screwdriver to yank the caliper out of its place. Alright, I forgot one thing. We're gonna go on this side. We're gonna remove that number 12 up there, right? This is the 12. Looking right here. This is the number 12. This is holding the brake line. So what I'll do is I'll use extension like that. Alright, there you go. That's the number 12 I took out from right there. Now we're gonna go back to the other side. This was making the caliper restrict from coming out. So we're on this side again. Now I should be able to remove this caliper. This caliper is not coming out so easy. The brake is jammed up in there. Alright guys, so this brake is jammed in there. This brake is part of, there's like a little clip that goes into the caliper, which is not coming out. So if that doesn't come out, brake pad doesn't come out, the caliper is definitely not gonna come out. So what I'm trying to do is I'm just trying to wiggle up the brake pads a little bit. Almost out. These are old brakes and they're jammed up. You see that? I got the caliper out. The brake pad is still in there. It's so jammed up in there. It don't want to come out. This is the piece that goes into the caliper. It wasn't letting it come out. So I'm gonna knock out this brake pad just like that. And I'll do the same thing with this one. This is the brake pad. It's finished. Alright, so we got the brakes out, and what I'll do next is I'll compress this piston for this caliper back. So again, you do it like that. Once you have a tool like that, all you do is you push this piston back. It should go in nice and smooth. There you're gonna have that caliper compressed all the way back in. And also you want to make sure these are not jammed up. Alright, now I'm going to take this caliper, I'm going to just leave it hanging over here to the side. What I'll do next is I'll remove this and this here. These are the two 14s, and the bracket should come out. All right, so I got my long 14 gear wrench. I'm gonna remove this bolt. And then also take out the top one. There's the 14. There's the second 14, and this bracket is out. Alright guys, now we're back over to the front of the rotor. We're gonna remove this. This is loose already. And then down here, I'll hit this with a punch. Alright, so I'm gonna take out both of these. I'm gonna take off this one, and then we can pull out the rotor. Just get a Phillips head screwdriver, and all you do is you remove this, and then this. One fell, I'll pick it up in a little bit, and then make sure you take this off too. We'll put this little rubber grommet into the new rotor. Alright, there you go. Now we're gonna hit this rotor also, right? And this rotor should come out. Alright, I'm gonna get this rotor off because every time I try, the camera bothers me. What I'll do is I'll hit it a little bit more, and then I'll take this off. Alright guys, we got the new rotor. Here's a new disc. Just make sure when you put this disc on, you align the little holes for the screws. Alright, just like that. And make sure this rotor does not hit anything. Once we have that in place, we're gonna take the two little screws, the Phillips head screws. We're gonna put those in. Alright, so just tighten them up a little bit. They don't have to be too hard, because these, what they do is they hold in the rotor and they lock themselves in over time. Alright, all the function of this is to hold the rotor in place. So just turn it like that, it's not scraping with anything. And don't forget this little thing right here. You just take this and you stick it into the little hole. Right, just like that. That's where you adjust the brakes from, the rear brakes. Alright, next, what we're gonna do is we're gonna install the new hardware kit on this. So you take your flathead screwdriver, you can remove the old ones. You take a wire brush, clean the surface. Both sides. After that, once you have this cleaned, you're gonna take your new hardware kit. You're gonna install these. Alright, make sure you get it nice into the groove. And you can tap it a little bit. You don't want that to hit the water. And you do the same thing with the opposite side. You stick that in and you push down into it and it goes back to its spot. Just make sure you tap this one also. Alright, once we have this hardware installed, what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this bracket and we're gonna put this bracket in. You're gonna take the 14mm bolts for the bracket. You're gonna put those in. And we're gonna tighten these now. We have one. You want to get them both evenly, and then you can just tighten them nice and tight. After that, just turn your rotor. Make sure this hardware kit is not hitting the rotor, right? Alright guys, next we're gonna put these brake pads in. The one with the sensor, this little metal piece here, and this goes in the back. What we're gonna do is, again, I'm using Monroe brake pads. The reason is because they work very good, and watch this. No restriction, you know, the brake pad is nice and smooth. This one goes into the caliper, but I'm gonna try this in before I do that. You see that? The reason why you want to try that in, because you don't want to put this in the caliper and then later on this doesn't sit well. Alright, so what I'll do next is I'm going to take my caliper, first I'm going to remove this little metal piece inside the caliper, and to do that all you do is you just yank it out from one side, push it out. This is the piece, it comes, the new one comes with new brakes. So what you do is you stick this in, you push it to one side, and it gets locked in there just like that, right? So I'll push a little bit more to this side. All right. Now I can take my brake pad, and stick it into this caliper. Oops, I got it wrong. So make sure you don't make that mistake. Gonna go in like that. This curved area is gonna be facing out. I had it that way, so it would have been sitting this way. I'm gonna reverse it, right? There you go. I have the brake pad in there, but my little hardware, this little came out, this piece. I'm gonna push it back in. Use my screwdriver again. Alright, so with the screwdriver you can easily maneuver it this way or that way. And once you have that in place, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a little bit of grease here on these brake pads here. let's just look at it real quick. What we have so far. Alright, that's what it looked like so far. Right. We have the caliper sitting there with the new brake pad inside. And I'm gonna install that caliper and we're gonna lock up the two number 12s. And then don't forget the one that goes on the line on the opposite end. So what you do is make sure you check the grease on these two right here. Right? So these, grease them up. You can clean this up. And put some grease on this one. Just like that, you don't have to put too much. And you do the same thing with the other one. We're gonna clean this one up. All right, there you go. We're gonna clean this up. And we'll put some grease on this also. And then we'll stick this back in. And now we can install this caliper. We're gonna use the two number 12. Make sure you don't mix up the one that goes on the line on the other end. So we take the two number 12s. Now we can tighten these. Sometimes this inside spins it, so you could just hold it with a wrench, or if it's not too hard, you can hold it by your hand. There you go, I have one. Top one still is loose enough for me to tighten it with the hand. You see how that's turning? I'm gonna go get something and I'm gonna hold this and tighten it. Alright, so this is number 17. And there you go, I'm done. And I'm gonna go around and I'm gonna tighten that number 12. I'll just come across and you can take a look at the brakes and the rotor. And I'm coming across to this end to tighten this number 12. So what I'll do is I'll take my extension with number 12. And then I'll tighten it up and we're finished. And that's how you do rear brake pads on a 2005 Honda CRV. This is 4-cylinder, 2.4 liter, and we're done.